Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Helmi and on this channel I share mostly my knitting and sewing inspiration. So I'm glad you're here. And let's jump right into today's video. Today I thought I'd do a bit of a sewing vlog type of a video just to try out if this is something that I like to make and you like to watch. So today we are going to be tackling one of the things that I mentioned in my sewing and knitting plans for 2026, and that is the sit tie dress that I mentioned that I want to make out of the blue and white animal print kind of bed sheet that I found from a thrift store a while back, and that has just been sitting in my closet. So yeah, I thought that today we could try and sew up this dress to see how it turns out, if it turns out the way I have imagined it. So I have actually already cut out the fabric. It was 2 weeks ago. Yes, 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I filmed a bit of me showing you the fabric, so I will put it here soon so that you can see it. And then I proceeded to cut out the fabric, but then I lost my voice. I got quite a spring flu and it just took out my voice. But I had quite a bit of extra time, and yeah, that's when I cut out quite a few projects, and this dress is one of them. So the fabric is ready, and yeah, now I will give the mic over to past Helmi, who was just about to cut out the fabric. So I am here to just show you the fabric that I'm going to make the sit tie dress out of. As you can hear, I have a bit of a flu still, so my voice is not it's not normal, but because I would like to get to cutting the fabric today, because I'm feeling otherwise pretty normal already. So yeah, that's why I want to show and talk about the fabric now that it's still in one piece before I cut into it. So yeah, let me just show you the fabric. So this was originally a duvet cover, and this morning I just sat down and took it apart. It was really one of the easiest duvet covers that I've taken apart, because they had kept the original selvage edges. There was no serging and the stitching was easy, just rip out at the side seams. And yeah, it was just a long length of fabric folded twice, so it didn't take me too long. So it's already one long piece of fabric. But yeah, this is the print that I already showed you in the video. I think it's now looking pretty bright. The blue, it's not, I don't think in real life, but of course with the natural light coming, it looks quite bright, the dark blue. But yeah, I just really love all the different animals on this print, and yeah, I think it's a really nice and kind of a playful fabric, and I think suitable for a teacher, especially who now teaches more like also small children. Yeah, I just feel like this is just the perfect and very fitting fabric to wear at work. I still need to measure this. I think I have measured this as a duvet cover. Let me just check. Yeah, okay, so I should have approximately, I think, 3 meters of this fabric, which should be just enough. I haven't actually checked what the pattern calls for, but I think 3 meters should be just fine, because I'm doing the sleeveless version. So yeah, once again, this is the fabric, and it's, maybe you can, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's still quite stiff cotton, But I'm hoping that, you know, with time and wear and washes, this will soften out a bit so that it's not that stiff. But I think it, with this kind of pattern, doesn't matter as much. Of course, it doesn't have that, you know, lovely light drape that a kind of a softer cotton would have, but this is what I have, and I'm sure it will work out just fine. And I think that with the kind of the gathered skirt, this will have, I think, a nice volume to it. I hope. We shall see once I make it. And I just love it. I just love it, and I think this cost me something like €3. So truly not bad at all for a dress. Of course, the pattern has cost me some money, and I should have the thread to make it, but still this dress will be somewhere around €20, I guess, so that's like honestly not bad at all. I will start ironing and then cutting out this fabric. Okay, this is Helmi from the editing phase, even though I'm not editing, but my partner just pointed out that the clip that I had filmed for this part, it was such a good clip. I was so proud of it. It didn't have any sound. So my mic, for some reason, either it was off or it wasn't connected or something. So yeah, I was talking for 9 minutes and you can't hear it. So yeah, this is me quite a few weeks later, trying to remember what I said in that clip. Because I remember the general idea, but yeah, here we go. And you will see me in a bit of a different spot because I thought I'd like a bit of a change. What I was trying to kind of say in that clip was that this project, and especially cutting out this project, was a lot. When I was trying to cut it, at first I just got so overwhelmed. I think I had the fabric on the table for 24 hours or so, and I tried to kind of map out where to cut each piece, and yeah, I just felt so overwhelmed because the fabric was so unique and I had a very specific image of the finished result and everything. And because the fabric has such a big print, in my head the kind of how I would cut the fabric, where all of the different pattern or prints would go, especially the white elephants. So yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So that that was kind of a big hurdle for me in this project, because I just got too much in my head with trying to figure out how to place especially those elephants, and especially on the front bodies, because those elephants were so big and so white, so they really stand out. And I was really worried that, if I place them too low, it would kind of highlight my bust area, and that's something that I really don't like. I also wanted to have whole elephants, and I wanted them to be kind of mirrored. Of course, I couldn't have them fully mirrored because it's not a mirrored fabric, but still kind of have the elephants placed on the same spot on each side of the front bodies. And then I started, thinking, what about the back bodies? What about the skirt pieces? How can I place everything in a best possible way? And that was just too much for my brain. But it was just before I lost my voice. So I was having a flu, and then I lost my voice. So yeah, because I was feeling a bit sick, and then it was too much. So I had to step away from cutting that specific project for, I think, a whole 24 hours or so. I just needed to have the time to think about something else and come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes. Cutting out that fabric was so difficult. It was the most difficult part of the whole project. So you will see when I'm trying to cut out the fabric that I'm moving the pieces back and forth and going with my measuring tape and everything, trying to measure everything as perfectly as I can, because it was a whole mess. This is what cutting out most of my projects look like for me. Of course, this was most probably the most overwhelming project that I've cut out so far. But usually cutting out the project takes me a lot of time, because I am trying to place everything as well as I can and to have enough fabric, because usually with most of my projects I actually have maybe 30 centimeters less fabric than suggested in the pattern, sometimes even more. And I'm just hoping I'm playing fabric chicken or something. I'm really just hoping that I can cut out the project that I planned. And so far it has worked out. So in the end, I ended up drawing kind of a square on the front bodies pattern pieces, like the size of the elephant, and trying to think where to put them. So in the end, I decided to put them kind of up on my chest, kind of, so that would draw the attention a bit higher than my bust. And it turned out great. But of course, the fact that I was trying to place the pattern, the elephants, in a very certain place, that caused some trouble. But let's jump back in time to me finally actually cutting out the fabric. it's time for the first try on. So I finished sewing up this bodice last night, and yeah, it was kind of too dark to show you yesterday. So here I am today, ready to show you the bodice, and it's finished, and I love it. So yeah, this is how it's looking so far. Such a relief, to be honest, because like I said, I was really nervous about cutting the fabric and especially placing these elephants, because as you can see, they kind of really draw your attention, and I'm really happy that they are kind of higher up on the chest and not down here on my bust area, drawing any extra attention there. So yeah, I did one modification to the pattern, and that was to have only one set of ties. Maybe I will come a bit closer. So yeah, as you can see, I have only one tie at the top, and I've actually sewn the bodice closed quite high up. I think it would have been somewhere around down here, and it would have had another set of ties. But yeah, that's just what I wanted, to have just one set of ties and for this to be kind of higher up, because I thought that if I want to wear the dress without anything underneath, I really don't want to be showing off my bra or anything else. So yeah, I thought that I'd sew it up a bit higher, and that was something that was really, really easy to do, just to, mark up a new, kind of make a new notch where I wanted to stop sewing the two bodice front pieces together. So that was really, really easy modification to make, but that's the only one that I've done. And yeah, I was kind of nervous about the fit, because it said on the instructions that the bodice is drafted for a B cup, and I'm a bit larger than a B cup, and it said that if you are larger, you might want to do a full bust adjustment. And I was like, yeah, I can't be bothered. I really don't want to do that. And I didn't want to do a mock-up this time, because I don't think mock-ups are necessary for something that's like as loosely fitted as this one is. You can see there is quite a bit of extra room. So the only kind of worry that I had would be that if I would need a full bust adjustment, if this armhole would be gaping, which is not. So I'm really, really happy about that it's not gaping, and I don't need to do any adjustments. It's fine like this. So yeah, and I was a bit worried because I did the top stitch or all the sewing I've done with a white thread, and yeah, because it shows everything on a blue background, you can really see if it's uneven. So maybe there is a clip of me when I'm sewing kind of these top stitches here, either side of the center front seam. Yeah, I really took my time to make sure that these would be as far away from the seam line so that it would be even. But yeah, maybe here, I think it's here. Yes, there. You can see it's not 100% even or straight, but I think I'll let it be. But it's something that I can fix later if I feel like it. But yeah, because I don't think I'm gonna do that, because that would mean kind of unpicking all of this, and it was really annoying to do, because kind of just this part with the front kind of neckline curve was kind of tricky to sew with the bias binding, because you had to kind of stretch the binding a bit for it to kind of curve nicely along here. So yeah, it was a bit of a pain. And yeah, as a result, it's not as even as it could be, but I'm just like, yeah, I can't be bothered. You can't see it from far, you can't see it now. You can see it only if I come, close up like this, and it's not that bad. It's just a bit wonky, there. But it's something that I can live with. But yeah, enough of chit chat. I already started sewing up the skirt portion last night as well. So I have joined both of kind of the tiers, like the front and the back of the tiers. So now I just need to attach the tiers to one another, then attach the whole skirt to the bodice and hem it. And that's actually it. So it shouldn't take me too long to have the dress entirely finished, which is really nice because that means I will have time to do something else on my Easter holiday as well. So yeah, I'm happy about that. But now let's get back to sewing. Just kidding, I'm back because I realized there is something that I want to mention. I got a new iron and it's cordless and I love it. I truly love it because my old one, I think it was like a 10 euro iron from Facebook Marketplace when I moved on my own. That would have been almost 7 years ago. Wow. And back then, I just bought the iron because I was just like, well, I'm going to be ironing my clothes every now and then. But really, at that time, I wasn't sewing, so there wasn't much use for an iron, so I just bought something that would work. And it did work. But yeah, now that I've gotten really into sewing and I love ironing, I really do. It gives me great pleasure to see all the wrinkles go away and to have neatly ironed seams. It's just, I love it. So yeah, for a while I've been thinking about upgrading my iron, and a few weeks back I finally did. I ended up with a cordless one because I was so annoyed with the kind of the cord of the iron always kind of be in the way, because my ironing setup is a bit interesting, or kind of, well, anyway, because kind of the plug is on this side, but then my iron is on this side, so kind of the cord travels quite a bit. I don't know if that makes any sense. But anyway, the cord was getting in the way and it was really annoying. So yeah, I got a cordless one. I can put here the name of the iron that I have. If you are interested, I just bought it from a Prisma. So yeah, it was just one that I could just buy in person, that I didn't need to order it online. So that's kind of the reason why I ended up with that one. But so far, I've been really happy. It works nicely. It irons really well, has great steam and everything. I'm not an expert on irons in any way, but I can say that I like my new one. And yeah, I'm happier to iron than I was a month ago. Okay, so my seed tie dress is finally finished. So let me take a few steps back. And well, you can see the top because yeah, I can't get the camera far enough so that you could see the whole dress. So yeah, you just have to enjoy this view now, and once the weather is a bit nicer outside, I will go and film a few clips there so that you can see the whole dress. But yeah, let me just quickly talk you through my thoughts now that this is finished. So like I've already told you, this project has had its ups and downs. But I would say after cutting out the fabric, which took me quite a long time, I was then able to sew this pretty easily, pretty quickly without any bigger problems. And I'm really happy with the end result. The only thing is, and this is kind of totally on me, is that I feel like the dress is, or the hemline is, I'm not 100% certain if it's too long or not. This is something that I will have to see once I'm wearing this out, if it feels too long or not. But this is kind of totally on me because I just went with the pattern, didn't really think about the fact that I am short. And that usually means that things tend to be a bit long on me. So that's on me, and something that I then need to take into consideration in the future. If I'm making this, and I'm pretty sure I'm making another seed tie dress at some point, then I think I will shorten the first tier a bit. And with this one, I will have to see if I want to shorten this or not. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with the modification that I have just one pair of ties here, and that the kind of the slit is not that deep. It could be a bit more open, I guess, but I don't mind it being like this. At least now I have no worries that I might be revealing too much or anything. So this feels really comfortable. And I think I already talked to you about this when I tried on the bodice, but I'm really happy with the placement of the white elephants, both at the front and the back. So yeah, all of that thinking and thinking, I guess, paid off, because I think it looks really good. And the only thing is that if I'd had more fabric, I would have liked to play around with the pattern placement a bit more around the skirt as well, because like, for example, now you can see that the elephants are a bit weird around here. So if I'd had more fabric, I would have liked to place them a bit more deliberately, but now this was the amount of fabric that I had, and that's what I had to go with. But other than that, I feel like this dress will get a lot of wear and use at work and also in my free time, because this is just such a comfy dress. Like, it has so much room, and I think it flows pretty nice. Even though this is a bit of a stiffer fabric, I still think this flows nicely. And so this has a lot of room to, move around and breathe and, do basically whatever you want. So yeah, I'm really happy. That's all. That's pretty much all I have to say. Yeah, so overall, I'm really happy. And this is going to be a dress that will really bring me a lot of joy when I'm wearing this out and about in the world. So yeah, I think this is all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this. In the end, I had a lot of fun making this project. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this and also maybe some knitting related videos, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. And yeah, I will now give you the montage of the finished dress and I will see you in the next one. Bye!